Hello. Think you're muted. Let's see. So Ahmed's gonna come on too. If you could just make him a co-host as well, just in case we go over, we
Yeah.
can let people in just as like a backup.
Yep.
Not
Where
sure.
you going for dinner?
I'm actually already at the place. I'm at the hotel. I got here early and got set up so I could just walk down. We have a friend that's getting married, and we just have a dinner. It's at the Hyatt in Boston. So
Oh, cool.
I came down here. I got my laptop set up. We're in the room, and the view is this right here. There's the
Oh, that's
airport.
nice.
Not the best view, but it is Boston. It's just really rainy and foggy out.
Boston is that, isn't it?
Honestly, it's not.
I've never been to Boston, but I mean that's what I've always heard at least. That's what the
No, the
movies made
weather
it sound like.
here, it's actually not. The weather here is really, really, really actually amazing. It's just today it's downpouring, unfortunately, for our friends who are getting married.
That does
It's
suck for a wedding. You're like, am I supposed to be getting married if my wedding day is raining?
and it's outside too, so it's like,
Yeah.
I
I
feel bad.
yeah, absolutely. Can't read too far into it.
No, you can't, but it's hard not to sometimes, right?
But it's hard not to. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I had a friend, and she's like, I just got engaged, and the next day I got hit in the head by got hit in the head by a 20-pound dumbbell, and I was like,
Yeah, doesn't sound all that good. So I think we need to spotlight you because I don't think you're spotlighted.
oh
So
yeah,
I'm
spotlight.
on the full screen, and then if you could make Ahmed co-host as well.
I think did I? Hold on, let me just make sure I did that. Okay, cool. All right. It's crazy how the lighting changes it. Looks so much better with the lighting.
I like this background you got today. It's very zen. There we go. That's the word.
I agree. I mean, this is the background is kind of my life, so I guess it is pretty zen up here. I like having the trees in the background.
Yeah.
Adds that little extra vibe, you know?
Mm-hmm.
We'll see if my email being like you should be here today does anything. Really getting
Get
this,
your butt.
really getting this hardcore side profile. We're getting the side profile down. You can see my head in all of its glory.
You can see the veins too. It's the camera's so good. You can even see it's like a vein. It's pretty.
It's kind of
I know.
crazy to be honest with
Yeah.
you. Yeah, it's kind of great. Like I'm like zooming in and I'm like, I can see everything. This is what whenever I shave, I just get this camera out.
Yep.
Make sure I don't miss anything. Um, all right. I'm making sure. So when I do this, I just want to make sure that people don't lose. And so when I'm looking here, does it feel like I'm looking right at you now?
Oh yeah.
Oh yes. Yeah.
It feels like you're. It feels like you're literally in person in front of us when you look at the camera.
Cool. Okay. And then my glasses aren't smudgy.
Let me see. No, no. It's even
The
crazy that I
fact
can
that you
see my
can see
glasses.
on Zoom,
I
that
know.
right there is
Let me see. Like that's actually funny.
That's funny.
No, no smudges.
No smudgies. Okay. Well, I got my drinks. Got my coffee, it's already gone. I got my smoothie already gone. And I got this one already gone.
Yeah, what was that? I was actually wanted to ask you what was that drink earlier because you showed it to me and then I totally forgot what it was.
Oh, it's called OCA.
OCA.
It was.
Ooh. Whole Foods?
You can order it online.
Gotcha.
I wouldn't be able to tell you because I don't really go to a grocery store. What the heck is wrong with me now? Yeah,
Must be nice. I feel like
yeah,
I'm at Whole Foods every other day of
yeah.
my life.
I don't do. Air One. You don't know of Air One, probably.
No, but I'm dying to visit it. When I come to California in August, I'm going there.
So we hired somebody. Our first shipment's next week. We hired somebody to go in and buy our favorite things and ship it up twice a week.
No way.
Yeah, I'm
That is
so pumped.
unreal.
I'm
Oh
so
my
pumped.
God.
I don't know why I
I
didn't do it before you. Me and Livy were like, why didn't we do this?
That's awesome. I'm
Why is it
excited
my
to
name?
like check that place out. I've seen it all over like people's like pages that live there, like hyping it up, and I'm like, all right, I need to get to this place.
It's as good as the hype, and you'll need 3 or 4 businesses to pay for it. Smoothies $24.
I
$24 smoothie. That's the starting price. It just goes up from there. All right, let's get rolling.
All right, I'll let them in.
What is happening, everybody? A little bit of a different view of me today, but I'm excited to share with you everything I'm going to be going into today. Feel like I'm here right with you now, right? How's everyone doing so far? How's everyone's week been? Let me just bring up the chat too here real quick. And actually, no, that makes sense. That makes sense. I'm going to be sharing my screen today, and I'm really excited because today I'm going to be doing something I've never done before. So I woke up this morning at like 6:30 a.m. and I was like, well, I really want to share screenshots. How am I going to do this? So I bought the ones, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So I got 14 different sales scenarios where I'm going to go through the actual screenshot with you. And I got everything here from the intake forms to helping someone renew to selling a VIP to having somebody that said no. And I'm essentially going to go through actual conversations that I had and have had. And a lot of these, most of these are from this year. Some of these are from this morning and yesterday, actually. I was like, well, it's here. Let's take a look at that. So I'm really excited to be able to share that one with you. Yeah, I feel like it's been an amazing week. Replayed the workshop a lot. Felt like the whole week with you. You know what? I feel like that as well. It's amazing being able to spend this much time together. And the cool part is we're going to be doing another workshop at the beginning of August, another 5-day one. So I've got a lot of creative energy. I believe in going with the seasons. And so October to March, I didn't do anything because that was a season of inward. And right now I have all sorts of creative energy as well. Ahmed is here with us today, which is on my team. And he's helped me develop things such as the personalized assessment that we do, and just a lot of the innovation that we've been able to bring into business, Modern Business Academy. So he's here today. And then Gianna is actually, might have to step out a little later. She has a wedding dinner to go to. But we'll probably be here, who knows how long, to be completely honest. But today's our last day. Today's our last day for Q&As and those types of things. Unless you're in the VIP, if you paid the $97, sorry, to be in the VIP, we're going to be sending out the dates for those hot seat sessions. So we will be getting to that real soon. All right, so. A lot of clarity. I'm being needy. I already have lead abundance, but you reminded me that I do not need to seek approval of a client who is really not ready. Yeah, absolutely. All right, so we're going to get into it. As I've spoken about, day 1, day 2, day 3, we all talked about what happens before the moment, the mindset. Yesterday, we went through some actual use cases. Today, we're going to go through some actual social selling messages, and I'm pretty excited for this. So I'm going to go ahead and share my iPad screen. All right, can everybody see that? Just want to make sure before we get going. Oh, all good. Wonderful. Awesome. All righty. So the first we're going to go through is renewal. And so this right here, so I'm going to share some different scenarios with you, but the first one I'm sharing with you here is somebody that's worked with me one-on-one, and I lead them into, of course, working with me in a continual basis. Now, some context, when I generally working with somebody one-on-one, I'm wanting to bring them towards a scenario where they're able to really partner with me. And so sometimes that means that they need a little bit more time with me. So initially I always do 6 months. 6 months, they get 8 months because I do vacations and trips and those types of things, and I skip weeks. And so then at the end of that 8 months, or towards that end of 8 months, I'm like, okay, well, is this person ready to partner with me? And a lot of time they aren't. So I'm like, okay, well, let's extend our time to X, right? Let's extend our time to X. So let's go into this one. All right. So we have here, all right, here we go. So this is the last month, this is back in May. I want to check in to see, as it's still a ways away. So at this point, and I'll also keep in mind, the reason I do one-on-ones, I always recommend if you're starting out, you should do a one-on-ones. If you're in a place where you have an external, you have the ability to invest more money in your business if you do a one-on-one, or you have an external, something else to externally invest in, one-on-ones are a great use of time and money. So kind of think about it this way, is when I have a lot of different things that I can invest money in, a lot of different ways to be able to get a return on money. And so generally I take the money that I make for one-on-one and I put it into those investments. And so the way I think about it is this: if I have $100,000 that I make in one-on-one, it is 100% profit margin, right? It's my time. And secondarily, that generally leads. So I got to put this smoothie. Smoothie's smelling a little like smoothie, and I need to put it over here. And so, so it leads to certification. So that's, one benefit. I get to help somebody in a deep way. I'm able to take that money and I'm able to then go and multiply it. So whether it's whatever it is, right? Whatever it is, I'm able to take it out of the business. Now, at the beginning, generally, you're going to want to put it back into the business, right? So in 2016, 2017, 2018, I put majority of the money I made one-on-one back into primarily marketing, a little bit of mentorship, primarily marketing mentorship. And so, so when I go now, I'm like, all right, I'm looking at my business. I'm like, okay, well, where can I take $100,000 and turn it into $500,000 in the next 2 years? Because now taking that money makes sense to me, right? Because of the fact that I have such a high return on the different things I do, I want to make sure that I'm leveraging my time, and I also want to make sure I don't have a ton of one-on-one clients, right? So I'm sharing this one with you here. So I want to check in to see, even though it's a ways away, right? So this is May, her time isn't up until this fall, right? But once our time is done, do you feel like help scaling the certification further? So this person's, they're helping, they're building a certification, they're building a business, they have a multi-million-dollar business already, they're building a certification program, and I ask, hey, how can I help, right? And so, from here, right? From here, yeah, I would love to continue. Oh, let me get this here. Okay. So I would love to help you. Do you know what it looks like, right? So we're automatically into, okay, well, I don't have to convince this person. There's no convincing that I need to do. Instead, I need to make an offer that makes sense for them, right? And so then they also say, okay, here's what they want help with, right? So investing, right? So they want help. Hey, they're starting to make some real money. Where do I put that money? I want to scale my certification. I want to scale my ad campaigns. I want to hit the 3 to 5 million. And, she wants on Aston Martin. Right. So all of this says to me, okay, yeah, you know what? I have a 99% chance of being able to help her. Right. These are all things that I, when I mentor somebody, I can mentor them on. So check, right? That's all good. All right. So then I'm like, okay, cool. I think that I'm going to have to go back because it doesn't do them in order. Here we go. Yeah. So this is my reply. Yeah, I feel the vibe and I think I can really help you. Further, as this certification progresses, I think it easily become an investor and advisor, which is what my intention is. It's not the right time for this, but by the end of the next year, it will be. Further, I can help all of those goals. Hashtag Team Austin Martin. So with all this in mind, I'm actually starting to stop working with people one-on-one going forward, which is the truth, as it's only people that I have equity inside of their business. Further, at the moment, I'm adding a lot of capital into things that have 5 to 10x returns, as I spoke to you about. If you want to extend our time until August 2022, so think about it, I'm extending from the end of the year, so I'm adding on basically about 6 months, right? Which I think is the timing in which you'll have higher capacity and you'll be able to have the liquidity to invest into a certification. So if you'd like to extend our time, plus add half a day, because at the end of the day, at some point between now and next summer, I know I'm going to want to do half a day to be able to plan at the certification anyways, $100,000. Hey, if you can do it in the next day, it's 90. Okay. So if we divide this down, let's look at it here. All right. So first off, I'm like, yeah, this makes, can I do this? Yeah. So this makes sense for me too. Right. And so then I reconfirm, right, that where the future is. Right. So whenever we're helping somebody, we want to bring them into the future. Right. So I'm bringing them into the future and how I'm relevant to them in the future. But I'm also saying, hey, listen, there's this roadblock. And I want to help you get the goals, and I want to help you get the goal of yourself. And of course, majority of the people that I work with, there's a house they want to buy, there's a car they want to buy, right? They may not say that, right? Because it can feel materialistic and all that type of stuff. But most people, there's something they want, right? There's something that they want for themselves outside of the impact that they create, right? Right. Here, right now, this is real. You can't say this unless it's actually true, right? But I'm essentially saying, hey, listen, you're special. I believe in you. I've worked with you, and I believe in what you're building. I believe in the fact that this is going to work, and so I want to spend my time. And here's why I'm doing it. Right? Here's why I'm doing it. And the reason, one-on-one, I find the easiest way to help someone understand why you're doing one-on-one, especially when you have authority, is to give them the reason in which you're doing it. Hey, listen, I'm spending this money on this. I'm spending on this money on that. A few months ago, I wanted to invest some money into cryptocurrency. And I said, hey, listen, I really believe in this cryptocurrency. But I don't want to take my own money, right? So, and I just, that's what I said. In this case, it wasn't cryptocurrency, it was something completely different. And then I'm giving a definite amount of time, right? I'm giving an offer without an offer, right? So this doesn't have a Google document, anything. I'm personalizing this for the person, right? And I'm helping somebody understand the future, right? And I'm giving a reason why I'm discounting, why she's charging less money. Why I'm charging less money than the initial one-on-one when I was working with this person. All right. And so then I'm saying, hey, we can extend from a year from now, right? So it brings them into summer of 2022, and it's $100,000. And listen, I want to make this happen quickly, because I know things happen quickly, and I know money makes things happen quickly. So if you do it now, here's 10 grand off. Everyone following along so far? Does this all make sense so far? I just want to check in. All right, now I had to take some pieces out here because they were personal information, but. So then, so basically she's saying right here in less words, how much money she has in the bank, that she's happy to do it. She's happy to have peace and cash in the bank, right? And then I basically go back and talk about that. Again, some personal information. I'm not trying to expose who these people are, and because this is obviously personal information. And so I can go to the dentist. Oh, I'm having a physical response because, of course, when we're energetically going to the next level, future, it's a lot of money. We're going to generally have that physical response, right? And so then, of course, I just reinforce that's normal, right? That's normal. Nothing to be worried about. And then finally, so I also said, hey, listen, you know what? If you need to take a minute to be able to get the cash, taken care of, let me know what works for tomorrow, I'll honor the 90K offer. And so next morning, I said, I wanted to check in. I can send 65K and I'll aim for the rest at the end of the month. And I said, awesome, let's go. Awesome, done, excited for the half person as well. All right, same. You need my details? No, I sent it already. So in this case, I didn't, they already had my wiring details from the last time. I said, you rock, me too. And that is how I renewed in this case. Okay, so keep in mind, this works. This would only work, right? This would only work when I'm in a place and when I'm in a time span where I have high intimacy with someone, right? This person I haven't worked with, I've spent, every second week with them for an hour. I text them probably a couple of times a week. And so there's a level of intimacy and relevancy that's already there. I just had to remind them of the future, remind them of what they actually wanted, make myself relevant to that, and then be able to have a dollar amount that actually made sense, right? So like if I, based on the fact that I know how well her business is doing and all these different types of things, I know where to be able to position something that actually makes sense. If I didn't have an offer that was relevant to her, or let's say I have an offer that was lower, right, or higher, and I didn't have exactly what it was, it wouldn't have worked, right? And so a lot of the time you have to, personalize when you're going back to someone one-on-one. The beauty is you have a lot more of the detail when you're working with someone in a one-on-one capacity in that way. One can tell how safe she feels working with you. Yeah, absolutely. Majority of my clients, I actually think I only have one male one-on-one client. Everyone I work with doesn't identify with being, just I think, only one guy. I think there's only one guy. And I'm really, at the end of the day, I always want to be able to bring that feminine and masculine energy inside of when I'm mentoring anybody, but particularly I love working with women entrepreneurs. Really, really, really love it. This looks great. Let me see. This looks great. I haven't gotten to check it the other days yet, but how does this strategy work for new leads? So I'll show you in a minute. That's some other ones here. I would highly recommend, of course, looking at the other ones as well. I love how simply you lay out what you want, so easy and clear. Well, I think it's always important. I just got to go turn on the air conditioning again. I forgot to turn the air conditioning on. 1 second. All right, sorry about that. I always feel like it's important when you have a relationship with someone to allow them to understand why it's important for them and why it's important for you. Okay, and the truth of the matter is, it's also important for someone to know why continuing to work with them is important and where it's leading. Not just, hey, do you want to keep working with me for 6 months? There's lots of conversations I have after working with someone 6 months where I'm like, hey, listen, it's not the time. There's one person I worked with one-on-one, Ahmed, and so, and I helped him go from 50,000 a month to 300,000 a month in 7 months. And at the end, I was like, listen, man, I can't help you. Right now, I did go to him last week when I'm doing my low ticket intensive, because I'm doing this 15K program for about 30 entrepreneurs to build a low ticket workshop just like this one. And I texted him. I was like, hey man, you need to get in this. And he was like, all right, well, let me just make sure I can put it into the plan. Right? It wasn't about money. It's about, hey, can I put it into the plan? Right. And so again, that was a relevant offer for that person. But after that time, if I said, hey, listen, do you want to do another 6 months? There wouldn't have been any, there was no way, there was nothing that was relevant enough for me to be able to put that in with him. Okay. Even though our emotions are crazy regarding your preference of women entrepreneurs, I think that I would much rather work with someone inside of their emotionality than try to work with, so emotionality, the feminine, the reason why there's emotionality in the feminine is because a lot of the time it's about safety. Right. And so if you can make someone feel safe, if you can make the feminine feel safe, they relax and they just kind of like their creativity goes wild and all these different types of things. The problem with working with men is you're a lot of the time, unfortunately, not always, but a lot of the time, if men haven't done work, you get the reflection and the projection of the wounded masculine, which is obsessed with ego and obsessed with self-image and identity. And I only know it because I've been there too. And I think that, almost every man would start there. And so now if a man's done that work, then of course I'm happy to help with that, help there. If they haven't done that work, what happens is they start making decisions that are not out of their heart, aren't out of what they actually want. And they might be successful, but they're not really, they don't have there's a certain embodiment that is sort of missing. Again, obviously, I'm not talking about everybody. So men also don't take advice as well a lot of the time, especially if they're in that wounded masculine or if they're in that place of, well, this or that or whatever it might be. And so I think at the end of the day, there's not as much of a priority to the emotionality for a man. And the emotionality for a man is actually their greatest strength, to be able to, come into the divine masculine. And so that's what I found. Is, they might be able to get them more results, but they go off the deep end much faster. And again, I'm using a deep generalization, but overall, I think that I've been able to build a great place of masculinity to help the feminine feel that freedom inside of their business life. I signed up for MBA Plus. Yeah, good. Yeah, absolutely. I never think it's crazy. I think it's just it's the feminine trying to find where's the safety, right? Where's the boundary of the safety, right? Where can I find the safety? And this is stuff they should teach you in school, but instead you just, you either got to go through life and figure it out yourself. But yeah, for sure. All right. So the next one, this is going to be meta because I think Sam's actually here, so this is going to be semi-meta now, because this is actually a really funny one. So I think this person might be, I don't know, might be here. I'm not sure. Let me go back. All right. So this one was funny because, this is somebody that was a past client. I haven't talked to them in a while. And I didn't start this as a sales conversation at all. And he said, all I said was, hey Sam, it's Scott. And I forgot to follow up with this person. So they went through my accelerator, which is my 40K program. We both decided, as I've said at the end of this, I was like, you know what? I don't think this is a good fit. He agreed, we both agreed, but he had an amazing experience being in the accelerator. And so I said, hey, wait, can we get that testimonial afterwards? Sometimes you got to follow up on those things. And he came back and I'm like, hey, whatever works, right? And so what's actually interesting is that in between this day and this day, I actually wrote down, when I developed my workshop, my 15K workshop, my intensive workshop, I said, I don't want to do a big launch for this. Let me go through and let me write down who I think this would be most effective for, based on everything I know. And so, this guy came to mind, and I was like, you know what I got to lose? And so Tuesday, so this is earlier this week, I said, one more thing, I want to share this with you. I thought it would be beneficial. Okay. So then we go here. Right. And so then he comes back and he says, now also he's, part of this workshop as well. Oh, let me see if I can get this to work. Come on, there we go. So I cut off a piece up here, but basically what they went through and being like, hey, yeah, you know what? I am going to do a workshop soon. I looked at the document. It said it's about 15K. Do you think the workshop is the second 7-figure stream? They have the high ticket, which is doing about 800. It has a pace for 800. And then, they also say this, your energy sense is always working. I'm assuming Gianna saw me on the call and last time, always trying to learn. So Gianna, actually that didn't happen. This was just completely random, right? This was just completely random. But I say, hey, love it. Legit, just writing your name on a piece of paper, didn't know you were even there. I think it's a no-brainer for you. And I said, hey, listen, since you're in the accelerator, I'll give it for you for 12 grand, right? And so this workshop's for somebody that already has, at least $20,000, $30,000 a month, or has an audience, they have momentum, they have everything else in their business that's kind of running, and they want to use a workshop like this one to be able to build an additional, multiple 6, 7 figures in the business, and as well as have something that's evergreen. Okay, so then we go here. Right. And so, then from there, let me know if that's a good testimonial, right? And of course I come back, I take a look at it. I'm like, yeah, testimonial's amazing, right? Testimonial's amazing. And then he was also talking about, hey, listen, we're doing Telegram. In the accelerator, we use Slack. We're about to change it from Slack to be this other program that I've invested in. But for this program, I'm using Telegram. Then he sent this photo. And one of my videos, came up X-rated on YouTube, or 18 plus, probably because I was swearing on it or something. All right. So, I saw the text last night. I missed yesterday from mentorship Zooms at the same time block, some bookkeeping stuff I had to deal with. I attended the original sales and marketing, and I think the 5 days probably easier, more digestible for folks. I probably agree with them because the skip the pitch requires additional information. It does require a context of some of my work in the future. And then I'm like, hey, yeah, you know what? I'm actually doing my 5-day workshop next month because I want to re-record it. Last time I did it was last July. I want to have the professional HD video. We want to cut that up and have it in some social media, right? And so then I'm like, and so they're like, okay, so basically at the end of the day, because I know that this is so relevant for this person, again, if you're going to clients, you either have to talk them through the relevancy and make sure that it's relevant. I'm giving them kind of the document. Because I have such a high level of intimacy with the people that I work with, I know where they're to, and I'm like, all right, this is going to make sense to them. All right. So last question. So it's 12 weeks. Telegram type form. Do we get this? So this is basically saying, all right, is this going to work for me? I wouldn't consider this an objection. I would consider this a bid for clarity. Okay. So just in like any relationship, we're always going to have bids, right, from our leads or anybody that we're talking about. And a bid, you can always, this is from Gottman Institute in their relationship work, the idea behind a bid, right? And so the idea of it here is this person's saying, hey, listen, can you just make sure that this is actually going to work for me? Let me tell you a little bit more about where I am. I'm sold. I want to do this. It makes sense to me, but I just need a little bit of reassurance based upon the different things that have changed in my life, in my business. All right. So I read it and I'm like, okay, that's fine. Now keep in mind, all of this requires that you actually are in the integrity of saying and knowing that this person, that is actually going to work, right? This breaks down really quickly. It breaks down really quickly if it's not a good fit. All right. So here, out of everything he said, this is what it was actually about. Hey, I'm going to give you feedback, because that in this case, this is what he wants. All right. And so I was like, all right, so going from the accelerator, just want to be clear on the feedback. So he re-justifies why he said this. Okay. Which is what we do as human beings. Because again, this is about being seen and heard. I tell you this all the time. It's about being seen and heard. All right. So I just want to bring this over there. The team is currently have set up for promotion. So now this is the last sort of, hey, is this going to work for me? And so the last work for me is, hey, is this inside of the timeline? All right. And just so happens in this case, it was. And that doesn't, I've had other people that are like, hey, Scott, that's great. That's wonderful. Hit me back in the fall. A bad time right now. I'm doing something else. Right. And so then this vulnerability, right? Hey, Scott, I love the accelerator, but it didn't work. This one piece didn't work for me. And this is actually a piece that we're evolving as part of the accelerator, because we've had that feedback, and we always want to be able to make the best. You know, at the end of the day, I try to hit everything the best I can. But when I get feedback, I'm like, all right, let's pivot that. Let's change that. And I'm like, yeah, totally get it. Right? Totally get it. Accelerator, stressful, overwhelming. We don't want that. All right. So then we go to here. Then he jokes about me using it, at which point I was like, well, I got to use it now. And so I said, okay, here you go. Right. Go here and use the coupon code accelerator. Right. Then he, you know, gives me a little bit of compliment, and then also talks about how inception-y this is. And then I also talk about, hey, so on this page, I don't know if I can actually go to that. I don't think I can go to that page. But on this page, it's $15,000. There's an option to join my accelerator program for an additional $25,000, as well as the ability to get on a one-on-one call with me for $7,500. Okay. So he goes there and he's like, hey, that's actually interesting. Maybe I should join the accelerator again. Right? Maybe I should be in the accelerator again so you can get the one-on-one time. Right? So would the accelerator with low ticket be redundant? I'm like, no, it wouldn't be redundant. Right? And basically beforehand, I was like, hey, listen, if you want to continue, that's fine. I'm going to give you a discounted offer, but don't feel like you need to. Right? Talks about the call. And now, so this is a point in which you can lose a sale right here, right? You can lose this. So you gotta be very careful. You gotta be very careful when you're upselling somebody. If someone's already said yes to one thing and then they're talking themselves into something else, you've got to be very neutral. Either got to be neutral or you got to decide where you're going to bring them. Because if not, they're going to talk themselves out of the one option while they go think about it. And then in the 3 days of neutrality that they have, they're going to talk themselves into the fact that they don't need it. Okay. So in this case, in this person, I was like, listen, why don't you do 12,000? And if you want to do these other ones, right? If on Friday, Monday, you want to do the add-on, hit me back. I'll give you the payment link. It's all good. Right? And so by me saying and reconfirming what he was doing, I was like, you know what? He's going to crush it in the intensive regardless. But I would love to be able to, you know, if the alignment's up. And then he said, well, hey, it's, you know, look, I just want to make sure this is not coming from a place of not trusting myself. Right. And so I want to allow someone to feel empowered here. Now, if I was like, rah, 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 let's go, I could have probably brought this person into the accelerator right here. But the accelerator is not a program that I want to bring somebody into and they have any sort of buyer remorse. Right, it's a bad place to be. Right, it's not a good place to be, and I don't want that type of energy there. All right, and then of course now he kind of jokes and talks about the fact that I should have a new name, right? And then is like, hey, let me mull this over, right? And so finally, you know, the last piece, hey. I got to go figure out this is yesterday morning, I think. I got to go figure out what I'm going to talk about. This is like 7:30 or 8 a.m. yesterday morning. And he's like, hey, I'm paid, you know, all good. Okay. So, you know, in this case, like, what do you kind of remember? Again, I already had rapport. I already had the ability to talk to them. But there is that when somebody has options, you got to be careful when somebody has options. You've really got to be careful kind of guiding them in the option. A lot of the time, the only time that I'm going to get someone to go with the higher end option is if for certain I know that they need it in order to get the success. I never want to be in a situation where I'm offering someone the higher version and I'm buying into their FOMO, right? So there's a $6,000 option of Modern Business Academy and a $15,000 option of Business Academy VIP. All right, and the VIP version, it has separate group calls, much smaller group calls. It has 2 20-minute phone calls with me. right? It has a different kind of setup, right? If somebody comes in that, and I really know that they're going to need those phone calls because of the way that their growth is going to be so explosive that they're going to need someone to talk to, that's when I give them the offer. If I'm looking at their intake form, and I'll show this to you in a minute, if I'm looking at their intake form and I'm there and I'm like, oh, you know, they have the money to do the VIP, but I don't think that they're actually going to need the VIP, or they're trying to sell themselves into the VIP because they have FOMO, or they have that fear of missing out. I don't want to sell it at that point, right? That is the point where, like I talked about on day 3 and day 2, we need to keep some money on the table, right? So Eddie asked, what was your schedule of time for what you gave him? Did you have a specific boundary on what time you gave him and what time you said you were not available? In terms of like texting back and forth, no. If somebody, I generally check my phone twice a day. Outside of that, I don't have any social media on my phone. I only have texting on my phone. I don't have email on my phone. I check my text twice a day, generally in the morning and generally kind of mid-afternoon. All right. When you were texting for Enter Exchange, have momentum. What's the speed at texting? Many times texts take a lot of time. That interaction was probably 15 minutes in between. I was actually out on a walk when I was having that interaction. So I was actually out on a walk, and I was answering other text messages at the same time. So it wasn't just purely focused on that. What if you're sharing the 5K offer and it's too high? How do you transition the 1K offer? That's a good question. So I actually got an example here for that. Let's go here. All right, so this is from last year. It's one that I dug up from last year. I did a 5-day workshop. I did an application. I was doing all the techs back at this point. Gianna wasn't in my life and making my life nice and easy. So I reviewed the application. I said, hey, I love what you're doing. The work that's so important, right, is probably to do with mindset or therapy. If I said this. Because this is more heartfelt, right? It's not probably a consulting business. And so this person also said in their intake form that they're going from Canada to the US, and I was like, hey, that's intense, and it's not easy, right? And of course, I used to be in Canada, so I know that process as well. All right, and then I say, listen, I can know 100% chance I know how to help you, right? And I can help you. And I say right from the get-go, I say, I helped you based on what I saw, the market, and what progress. And of course, I think she said, great hearing from you, Scott. You may not be able to afford this, but before I put words in your mouth, here's the payment terms and more what's possible. So right from the get-go, I know that this person needed at the time, it was a 5K program, mentorship program. Okay. But I knew based on the application that it may not be possible. So I wanted to give her the choice. Okay, I wanted to allow her to be in control. All right, and by doing that, I allowed for this sort of, hey, I think this is possible, but if you can't make the finances work, that's totally okay. All right, I made her comfortable with knowing that it wasn't just one way or the highway, right? I didn't give her both options. I only gave her one option, but I gave her the out so that she wouldn't ghost me, so that she would be like, oh, here's, all right. And so then I also say, again, from a personality perspective, I saw that you've just bought a home. And that's one of the things in her intake form of why she may not have money, because she just paid for her home, a down payment, everything else. And I at the time I was buying, this was last July. This was August, I think. So I would have been buying this home at that time. I just got approved for the mortgage, which I didn't think was going to happen because of the fact that I didn't have any U.S. income. Right. So I say, thanks, take a look, let me know. All right. So some time passes. She comes back and she says, thank you so much, Scott. We'll definitely take a look at the link. If this was a year ago, I would have, but I take a look, and even now it looks shaky. I will reach out once I'm back. All right, here we go. So of course I get that it happens. Just let me know in the next day so I know where things sit. This is important. You don't need to have a reason of why. You don't have to be like, hey, the spots are going to be filled up. You just need a timeline. You just need to have an agreement. So by saying, hey, this is the timeline that we're in, we're able to create an agreement. All right. Now, from there, I say, any questions, let me know. The training's been amazing, by the way, the best $95 well spent. I have greater clarity now. So happy to hear that. But okay, so here, that thread's closed. And at this point, intuitively, I'm like, okay, she's not going to do it. If she says it's shaky, probably not going to do it. It's not in a positive, that's not a positive tone at this point. So I'm like, all right, by the way, if the group is in alignment, this is a secondary option. All right. Now, if she didn't, I wouldn't have said this up front. I'm only going to say this once I get feedback. Right. So I send it. I don't know how much time landed, but count me in on this. The course. Yep. And at the time it was $850. Right. As $850. Awesome. I think the link is inside the document. Simply know once you're in. Payment is made. Epic. Angela will get on my team. Angela will get to you the details. That is how I handle the downsell. All right. And so what you always got to be careful on the downsell. Oh, did I not share what? Did you guys not see that just then? No. All right, let's go back. That's funny. Let's try that again. All right, sorry about that. All right, let's do that again. So I'm just gonna give you a second to take a look at this. All right, you may not be able to afford this. I'll just go through these just so you can see them. And then finally, okay. So that is how I would deal with that. All right. Do you send it to send all two of the info on the sales page if she wanted info on both? Yes, but I would not offer her the second option until she told me, hey, that it's shaky. I don't know if this is. So I'm going to wait for feedback. I'm not going to start with, hey, there's two options. I'm going to start with, hey, here is the option. David asks, how are people not scared? How are none of these people scared away when telling them the price in the message? At the end of the day, if somebody's scared when you put the price in the message, it means that your relevancy, your omnipresence is just totally off. You just don't have that. And so this is why, day one and day two of the skip the pitch is so important to have those basics. Because if so, you're going to have people, if you can't put the price in the text message, you don't have relevancy and that person's not ready to buy anyways. Richard asks, if the person you're talking to just stops replying mid-conversation, how do you message them back without looking needy? You know what? I actually had somebody that did that last night that were here. Now, more than likely, so this is what I say. I'm not going to be able to share this one because their personal information's on it. But let me just find it. All right, so, and they've read it. They might be here right now, right? And so yesterday I was asking them some questions to be able to work with them. I saw the application in my email. I texted Gianna. I was like, listen, let me take this. I love doing it every once in a while, and I think that this person in particular is going to be an amazing fit for the program. So last night at 5:58, I don't think this is a ghosting situation. I think this is just a life situation. And so she didn't text after my last question. So I said 7:05 a.m. this morning. I said morning related. So I haven't finished answering, replying to the questions yet. So I said, related to this, when you have a few minutes this morning, based on everything I see here, we can certainly help. In terms of the best way I can help, and then I go into some more questions that I actually need to know before I can actually tell her. In this particular case, I'm trying to decide if the VIP program or accelerator is best for her, right? I would love to work with this person in the accelerator program, but from a budgetary perspective, I need to make sure that she has enough money to be able to implement what I need to implement. In my business particularly, I have to keep people have money. to be able to implement what it is I actually help them with, right? So one of the reasons I ask, how much money do you have in the bank? How much credit do you have? And what's your cash flow? All these types of things isn't just so that I can have their entire financial history. It's because of the fact that if someone got 50 grand and I take 45 of it, I'm now spending the next 4 months having to fight an uphill battle to get them to implement what I want them to implement. Okay. And so I would rather, if somebody doesn't have the cash flow, I would rather some come in. I would rather leave the money on the table. If someone got 50 grand, I would rather leave the money on the table. And 9 months from now, I know that they're going to have an incremental increase and they're going to be able to come back and I'm going to be able to help them even more. Right. And so a lot of the time you had to keep that money on the table. So that's how I would take care of that. Right. Scott, do you have a generalized framework that describes the phases of each of these conversations? I don't have that. That could be something I built. I think that one issue I will say is it's very based upon it being in the moment of what does this person need? Like, do I have enough relevancy with this person? Looking at the intake form, do I have enough relevancy with this person not to need to go into the conversation? Like, where do I need to go? So I'll show you another one since we're here. Let me close out of this. And let me go to, where is this? Oh, 1 second. I think this one's actually missing from my, from the iCloud. So just give me a second. I'll push it over here. All right. So I'll share with you with this one, okay? And so in this case, yeah, I mean, presence is everything here. Like knowing where someone is. This is why I tell people you can't do a script. The reason you can't do a script is everyone's at a different place. Like the way that someone's asking a question is going to make it different from the sidewalk, slowly and fast lane. The way that someone's consciousness level is going to change. And you can see these things inside of intake forms. No social media on the phone. Do you recommend that everyone, even under 10K, so you post only on the computer? Jeffrey, I'm not sure I understand that one. Could you redo that? Could you reformat that for me? All right, so here's one. All right, so I'll show you this first. This was the Instagram conversation. I told you yesterday I don't like doing conversations via Instagram. Hey Scott, I'm a former technology executive, and I want to scale over $500,000 a month. Okay, so this person's already got momentum; they're already going, right? And so then they say, I ask, hey, what do you sell? I teach founders, CEOs to do blank, 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 like a true entrepreneur. What do you feel I need help with? I need help being able to scale my customer base, increase my price point, building out. All right, perfect. Relevancy and lead flow. All right, so boom, I know I can help that person with that. They do a couple of other, they post a couple other things that aren't necessarily relevant to the conversation. All right, now look, this is a true entrepreneur. When someone says this is a true willful entrepreneur. I've sold books door to door. I'm not afraid to fail until I succeed. Awesome, text me. All right, that's my personal number. Got no problem sharing it with somebody. All right, so I just texted you. So then I come over here and I start right in. So are you available? I say, I do a voice message back. It's not showing it. And I say, no, I don't do phone calls, but hey, listen, send me a voice note. So he sends me a voice note. Now, if this wasn't a case where I thought this person was wanting to work with me one-on-one, this would be way too much, right? We're looking at about 12 minutes. It's a lot, right? But I listened to it and then I replied to it, right? And so, and he talks about he wants to get this specific Lamborghini that's in the 90s. He loves, he loves cars, loves McLaren and that type of thing, right? I just talk about, I respond to the text. I don't do a voice message, I respond to the text. And then because I know that this person, they've been following my stuff for a while, I can go direct. They're in the fast lane. I don't need to sell them on their pain. I don't need to sell them on my process. I don't need to sell them on my proof. I don't need to sell any of it's done. Okay. So my one-on-one, I talk about my one-on-one. and I talk about why it's relevant. Okay, so I'm automatically going to how I am relevant to the gap. And by the way, if someone doesn't want, I'll show you one in a minute. If someone doesn't have a phone number, or like they don't have a phone number in the US, or they don't have iMessage or whatever it might be, you can keep it in Instagram. I'm not saying that you can't close in Instagram. It's just, I prefer text. All right, I prefer text. All right, let's go to the second part. So major reasons. Here's why. In terms of how it looks, right? So I give specifics on what it is and how I work with one-on-one. I don't tell the price yet. And then I ask, do you feel that the help is accurate of what you feel you need as well? Okay. So this person in their message told me they did all sorts of personal development work. They did this type of stuff. So this person is in intellectual intuitive consciousness. I use the word feel because I know that they're trying to ascend to intuitiveness. This allows me to resonate with them based on their level of consciousness. People that are intuitive want to feel a certain way. Right? People in willful, they want to do. So I would sub it in for do. Right? The person who is intellectual wants to accomplish. Okay? Out of curiosity, what's the thought process on the 8 months? Okay? Is it something you've learned in the right time frame? Also, how many people are this type of program? All right, so this is, again, not really an objection. This is curiosity based. All right, so curiosity based, that's great. Let's keep going. All right, if it's an objection, we need to go back to a little bit of coaching here. All right, really like the structure and appreciate the words of encouragement. I have been extremely hungry to fail. It's a good question. I do it for a few reasons. One is that I take 5 to 7 days of vacation per month, right? Which is the truth. That's why I do it that way. Okay, so, and then I talk about this. I find that a year is too long. Most of the time at the end of the 8 months, it turns into a business partnership, friends, or another 8 months. At the moment, I have 3 or 4 simply because my focus on investment and advisory. And then here's the reason I do it, right? And I mean, it's always been this reason. All right. So now we need to get clarity of what does the, we're in the gap, right? What does the vision look like? So this is a vision question. So we got to go back to the vision here. And I simply say, I can't guarantee anybody anything. All right. Because it's lying. I don't know what I won't work with someone unless I think there's going to be a lot of results, but I don't always know what the result is going to be. But I do say there's 2 types of people I work with. I help people shift into themselves and what they really want so that they can actually grow, or they end up getting massive, crazy growth from that. Right? But then I say, hey, listen, you've already done a lot of the personal development work, which is what stops people from being able to actually grow. So you should have pretty high growth. Right? So what's next? And then I say, I gave an actual testimonial. So I gave a little bit of proof. Again, we're going back to the slow lane here for a minute, back to the proof for a minute, back to the vision for a minute. And then he asked, okay, well, what actually allows someone to go from, and he's kind of reaching at this point here, how do I go from 100 to 500? And I said, well, here's the 4 things that's going to stop you. And then, of course, he comes back to, hey, listen, it's not all about money, because, of course, it isn't all about money. All right, so this is, in many ways, people will justify what they're doing, why they're making a decision, why they want to make money. That's totally fine. I'm not a big believer of justification. If you want to make $1 million, fuck, make $1 million. What you do with it, I hope it's positive. I hope it's great, but you don't need to justify to me that you want to make $1 million. Okay, but we're taught to justify our decisions so that we can validate to other people. And then we go, okay, so I just say, of course. So I just be like, yep, cool. Let's keep moving away from that, right? I don't want to go back into this, right? I want to keep into the next part, all right? So curious on the cash to growth piece and what type of capital outside of your investment is needed. All right, so I'd also talk about how I give hypnotherapy sessions. I own another company that does hypnotherapy. That's a badass. I know how important that is for the entire puzzle. Awesome, sweet. He's big on mindset work. What motivates you all to do this? All right, remember how I told you, it is important, especially as you grow, it's important that you tell people why you're doing one-on-one, or why you're doing a mastermind, or why you're doing something. Like, what is in it for you? And what are you using the money for? How does this give you energy? All right. So I say, which is my truth, mostly for the fact I want kids in a couple of years, and I never want to work if I don't want to. Second, to the fact that I find it fun, right? I love business and I feel it's my thing. I've known I'll be a billionaire since I was a kid, and I've got a lot of things to make it better. And then I'm like, all right, cool, sweet, awesome, that's why. All right, and the kid, well, I want a net worth of, $25 million, right? And that's coming quick. So how do you feel about that? Again, I'm coming back to a feeling. I'm trying to get them, we want to keep getting back to the intuitive side, the emotional side. We want to get away from the intellectual into the intuitive. Right. So we're aligned on the billionaire piece. Most of the people I work with one-on-one, we are, right? Most of the people that I work with one-on-one, they have got a feeling that they're going to be a billionaire one day. All right. So here I say, I'm feeling a lot of alignment, and this feels exciting. For the time we spend together, it'll be $150,000. In this case, it's a massive investment that's going to have a significant return quickly of who you are, how you see the world, the work you've done, both internally and externally. I'm excited, and if this is a fit and it's financially possible. I'm excited to work with you. By the way, do you live in Big Sur? And Scott, what does a kickoff look like? So this is obviously, yeah, let's do it. I live just above BS, but I do go to Big Sur. And then I was actually out for a drive when I was having most of this conversation. Like I had this part of the conversation, I think, when I was sitting on the beach. And so I took a picture of being out in Marin. Beautiful day today. Just took this one. I'll text you the next steps in a little bit, right? It's because I'm out. Right, love it. Would today at 4, so I say morning, right? Would today at 4 work my time? I can get the money info over to you so you can get that taken care of, so we're energetically in sync. And a little, if that works, super excited. For today's call, we'll mostly go over bigger vision. We'll get you to do the intake and then follow up. We move to the next day because that didn't work. And then I say, absolutely, can we do 10 a.m. tomorrow morning? I send the wire information, and can you give me your legal information so I send the contract? That is a one-on-one interaction. This person was completely cold. They came from Instagram, as I showed you beforehand. They come from right here, and that was as simple as it was. All right. Can you refer to the type of people who want to feel, say, and do? So, kind of like thing about this way is like people that feel they're in their intuitive consciousness. I go over this in day 1, and I go over this in day 2 a little bit. People that are intuitive, they want to feel. Let me see. Actually, hold on. Let me bring this up for you. Hold real quick. See if I can get this. Yeah, the McLaren will put your heart rate up. I love meditate. There's meditation, and then there's going for a drive in the McLaren, and I'm not sure which one gets me more clear yet, to be honest with you. The meditation of the car is almost as much. Let me see if I can get, all right, this is not working, never mind. Here. One second, guys. See if I can get this. I created a document for this a while ago, but apparently it's not coming up, so never mind. I won't be able to do that one. Meditation helped me gain a lot of money, just cleared so many things for me. Yeah, absolutely. A billionaire that I asked what was the answer to being a billionaire, he said, I meditate every morning. I'm assuming it's trust and scarcity. People feel lucky to be able to work with Scott so closely. If their trust is there, they're more comfortable. Absolutely. In terms of the contract, I get that lots of times. And so you just send a contract in that moment, and you say, hey, here's the contract. We take care of the contract once the money's paid, and you kind of go from there. So that's fine. Newsword, now just to be clear, from day 4, this texting versus calling is when you are booked over 40 calls. If it's at 10-ish, keep booked. Yeah, exactly. You got it. Now, in my case, I don't do any phone calls Like if he needed to get on a phone call, I would get on a phone call with him for like a couple of minutes. You know what I mean? Like if he needed that, I'm okay with that. But besides that, I wouldn't be doing a phone call at the place where I am. What I'm saying is that, the reason I recommend doing phone calls when you have, say, 10 phone calls a week, or 10 sale conversations a week, is because of the fact that you need to be building more authority, you need to be building more lead flow, and the more intimacy you have. Like, I lose a lot of money by going text only, right? But I'm fine with that. I'm okay with that because I don't want to have sales team. I don't want to have all this type of stuff. I'm okay with the level of abundance that I have. But when you have 5 conversations or 10 conversations or 15 conversations a week, you want to be able to have as many of those people actually turn into customers. How do you deal with your past clients who you worked with for a lesser amount and now your fees is higher that they're used to? So I always give clients that want to come into a new thing, kind of like a discount if it's a new thing. If it's the same thing, I just say to them, hey, listen, it happened. My accelerator program used to cost $25,000 and now it's $40,000. It also used to have double the amount of one-on-one calls that it does now. So when somebody comes in, I would tell them, let's say they bought at $25,000. I say, hey, listen, the program's changed since you've been in there 6 months ago, just in terms of the demand and that sort of thing. And then at that point, I'd either keep the price and reduce the number of calls that they had, or I'd keep the price and say, hey, listen, there were 6 calls before and you paid 25 grand. If you want to do this again, it's 40 grand, but I'd keep the number of calls. Right now, for 40 grand, people get 3 calls. You're going to get, 5. Right. So I would change the value proposition there, but sometimes you're just not going to be able to keep people, right? Some people you got to let go of. The context that was set is set, and you may be able to come back to them a year from now and they see your value differently. All right. Is this valuable so far? Does this all make sense? Okay. Wonderful. Let's do some more. I don't think we'll completely get through these, but we will. So let's go into this one. All right, so this is my I only sent this a couple days ago. So this is a lead, and he's never bought anything from me yet, at all. And but I know based on his intake form, he talked to Gianna, he's interested, but it's not the right time for my accelerator program. He wants to do my accelerator program. And I said, hey, Scott, I want to make sure this is your number. Yes, it is. Awesome. Okay, cool. Awesome. Now, so because I know he's already interested, I'm just saying, hey, listen, I got something I think would be interesting for you. I'm doing this at the end of July. I think you should be in it. He hasn't replied to me yet, but I'll be on. I think this is a thumbs up. All right, so it can be that easy. You just look. Now, I could also say, instead of going direct to this, I'd be like, hey, listen, I got something for you. Have you thought about doing a workshop, right? Have you thought about doing a workshop for more lead generation? All right. So this is another option that we have. All right, so we talked about those. We've gone through that one. We've gone for renewal. Here's another one. So this person, they're just simply talking about the fact, I tell them they need to go on a vacation. I was like, hey, you can come to wine country, because wine country, that's a good time, right? Good time. Oh, I need to change my marker, right? It's a good time. Hey, I've been looking at Napa. And I said, hey, listen, and again, I didn't know where they were, but I wanted, so I charge $50,000 if you want to come and spend half a day with me, right? So half a day, right? Now, I didn't know how much money she was actually making, but it's obviously a conversation starter, and I can always go down. I can always be like, because I didn't say what it is, because I didn't actually offer it, I can come back. I can't probably afford that. So she automatically opts out of this. I'm like, okay, cool. Well, because I know the context of where she is on this, I'm like, it's beautiful. Better question is, right? So I'm like, all right, this is the question I always wanted to get to, but I use this to be able to essentially get this moment. Okay. So she says, I have 10K in cash, 10K in investments, and she has 10K coming in on a monthly basis. And I also keep in mind, she has a lot of potential. She has audience. She has a lot of things going for her that are right. And I think I know so she was on a Q&A call, and I know for a fact that I can bring her forward. Right? Cash flow is a massive plus. I reconfirm that. So she's down on herself. So I do not want to buy into that. All right. Not buying into that. Why? I'm trying to empower her, right? I'm trying to empower her based upon the effective thing that's in her business. Okay. Okay. So, boom. Why don't you do this live? I can apply what you paid for MBA to make it 10K. So it's 15K. She bought MBA Plus at 6K. I said, hey, listen, I'll apply it and we'll go to 10. Actually, I think she might have paid 5K for MBA Plus. All right. So she's a current customer already. Agree. I'm in. Let me gather some funds. Still deciding to go where to go for vacation. I'm like, epic, awesome. And I think down here, let me know when you want the payment link. Okay. Now let's say I get somebody and someone texts me and I have a salesperson, right? And I'm like, hey, I'm on a vacation or whatever. Hey, Scott, I'm almost ready to actually launch my business. I'd love to talk to you. Now, somebody that's launching their business should be talking to Gianna from Modern Business Academy. I'm not in the business of helping people go into that program at this point, right? But I'd love to help this person, right? I love the perspective of a young entrepreneur, business acumen. Let me know if you have a couple minutes. Now, I'm not going to tell her I don't have a couple minutes, right? Because that's not true. But I'm just like, that's not where I am in my business. Hey, that's super exciting to hear. Perhaps I can introduce you to Gianna, my team. I don't do sales calls or really any calls these days. However, I've mentored her. So I want to be truthful of why I'm not, right? However, I've mentored her for over 2 years and she's the only person who I direct to on my team. Yes, it's Danielle, and that would be lovely. And then I screenshotted this, sent it to Gianna, and she took it from there. Right. Scott, do you notice people respond and interact differently based upon where they are in the world? Yeah, absolutely. There is some geographic elements to this. We're trying to always get people to text no matter what. But there's definitely cultural differences for sure. There's also, in Europe, money moves slower because people have to move it differently. Money moves more quickly in America. Definitely people move money differently in America. I would say that, money also moves pretty well in South America, in general. I think that, there's definitely cultural differences. And there's also differences of so one of the things on our intake form, here, I'll show you an intake form for a minute. This is an intake form I got yesterday, okay? You might be here that got this, all right? Now, look at this. I asked, what programs or courses have you invested in? Look, I'm business partners with her. Russell Brunson, okay, awesome. Hey, you know what? I'm also pretty sure I mentored that person. Boss Babe, I mentored them. Okay, cool, awesome. Hey, my contacts with this person, my social proof with the person, I've mentored 3 of the 5 people they talked about. That's going to be pretty easy. That's not going to be hard. Okay. Now, why do I do this? All right. Why do I do this? Because if someone's never spent any money on their business or personal development, me bringing them to a text message and me being able to actually turn them into a customer is going to be much more difficult. Okay. Now, when I go and actually have a conversation with this person, right, they've automatically told me this is their gap. This is what they want, right? They automatically told me, hey, I need some one-on-one. They're done having just online courses, and I want to commit to accountability and challenge. And I know they have audience, so I know they're automatic. Okay, that's definitely going to give them growth. And down there, if it's at the bottom, I don't think it's showing it, but at the bottom, they say $50,000 to $100,000 in revenue. Okay. So I know this person, perfect for either VIP or my accelerator. They are going to have the revenue and profit. They have an audience so I can build quickly. They've invested in personal development before, and they're not a first-time person that invests. Okay. Another one, right? Another application. All right. So this person, what do you sell? Online business manager programs. Okay. So OBM programs, teaching people how to be OBMs. They want to scale a new platform, right? So they want to scale their business. They want one-on-one or group. Okay. How big is audience? 20,000. So this automatically tells me that I can easily help them launch. They're going to have a quick first 90 days. How much have you invested in? 50K. Awesome. Wonderful. That means trying to get them to have momentum from that point is not going to be as hard. 10 to 25,000 in revenue, 5 to 10,000 in profit. That means more than likely they're able to keep and continue putting money in the bank on a monthly basis, and they probably haven't scaled up too much or put too many people, hired too much and that type of thing. How much does your lifestyle cost? 5K. How many months of money in the bank? Right, 90. All right, so that means that we're looking at somewhere between 25 to 40 grand in the bank. What's the right way to invite someone for an application form and text afterwards? Is there some form of exact script for this? I'm looking away. So we want to text them after the thank you page. We want to have video and say, hey, listen, if you're a good fit, I'm gonna text you. All right, let's go here. So this is the last time we did a skip the pitch. Okay, last time we did skip the pitch. Hey man, in your workshop, and so pumped. I saw a post that you said that a gentleman enrolling your program for his. Could you send me that information as well? So this person's obviously in the fast lane, right? Like they didn't even tell me anything about themselves. Like this is just a pure fast lane. Do I text from my personal number? Yes, I personally text from my personal number. I don't have to. Right? There's textline.com. There's lots of solutions. You can have a burner number. I personally do my personal phone. At the level, I'm not going to say I suggest that, but the level I am, generally people don't abuse that. Or if they do, I just block them. All right, so I say, absolutely. Now tell me more about your business. All right, is it okay if someone's first text is, what's your price? Well, generally what I say that I'm happy to give you my price, but like, let me make sure that you're actually a good fit for me be able to help you. So this person tells me what's going on. I'm like, awesome, definitely can help you. As a bonus, I'm giving you my 90-day skip the pitch program, which starts next month, or actually in a couple of weeks. For the people that buy Modern Business Academy Plus, we're actually doing a 90-day skip the pitch program where we're going to give you feedback on your actual conversations and help you implement it. We're giving that to everybody that's in Modern Business Academy Plus and VIP. We're literally giving that to you for free. Right? It's just part of the business, the stuff that we're building. It's not even on the sales page. All right. So then we go in. And I give them this. Here's a higher end that works like a mastermind because I think that this person wants a higher end based on how much money they've made. Awesome. Hopping on a sales call. We'll review this. Sounds good. They write back. Everything looks great. What's going to be in that 90-day program? I share the semi-sales page with them. Love it. I'm down for it. Last question. Will you give me the map out my offer? Yes, absolutely. Of course. Love it. Let's make it happen. Do I have it pay in full? Absolutely. Here you go. Boom. Last one. Can you send a crypto? I said, well, I can split if you want. I only do one-on-ones with crypto at the moment. Should be able to do split play. Let's try that. I tried it. Still not working. I have funds in my crypto account. Awesome. Took his Bitcoin that day. I didn't take payments in crypto until then. I did it a couple of times for some one-on-one stuff. But that was the day I started taking crypto for payments. All right. Do you recommend a monthly workshop to close new leads? I think that workshops definitely work. But it's only one of many options. Is there a difference for an intake form versus application? Do you take intake questions too at lower ticket? Not as much lower ticket. Intake form, application, pretty much the same. Pretty much the same. Okay. What else we got here? All right, let's take a look at this one. So this was a case where Gianna texted me and she's like, hey, listen, I need some help. Got somebody, they want to do it, but they just got an offer to do a TV show, which by the way, great fucking problem, right? And so, basically, so excited. Oh, let me go. All right, so excited, a little concerned because we're getting married, right? I keep in mind she had plenty of money to pay for this, more than enough. She had enough money to pay for this and the wedding, right? And a heck of a lot more. So she's saying, hey Scott, I need reassurance. So this is somebody being coached on, is this the right decision for me right now? So I'm like, okay, cool, no problem. I say, this totally makes here, where we are. Yeah, this, I don't know why this keeps on going. Okay. This totally makes sense. Very much the mindset as well. It sounds like you have such an amazingly supportive partner. I love that. And it's so important for entrepreneurs. So the reason why I push the accelerator for you, and if you didn't have time, I'd be the first person to tell you, is the fact that you're building infrastructure right now, and making the right choices right now is important. Think about it. This person's already an influencer. If they get a TV show, they're going to blow up. If they blow up and don't have the back end infrastructure, their whole business is going to implode. You're in an amazing intersection inside of your business, and every choice you right now is going to make or break the business. Chances are you're going to blow it up when you're going to blow up when the show airs, and having a business that can withhold that energetically and physically is important. Honestly, if you never came into a group call, it wouldn't matter. Rather, inside the accelerator is the ability to ask questions and have me answer them 2 to 3 times a week like I do. Okay, so I'm reassuring her of the fact that this is a good decision. The time won't be an issue. So one of the biggest issues, hey, will I have enough time if I'm recording this? Time won't be an issue, which it isn't. I'm going to guide you a way that takes time. However, you're going to do this. You doing this now is going to help you capitalize on the back end of this attention you're about to get. I work with so many massive influencers, and the biggest issue is a business can't scale with their influence, and I don't want that to happen to you, which is very true and is a real pain. Okay, I got it. So I want to get to the road to 1 million. So while I don't send messages like this often, maybe 4 times in my life of 8 years of doing this. So very much when I saw her application and knowing who this person is, I'm like, I want to work with you because I know that you're going to blow up, and I know you're going to have a multi-million-dollar business, and it's going to be easy to help you do it. You're absolutely right? And I'm giving reassurance. Perfect. I want to do this. I just hope I can do both, right? Being married and doing this. And I'm like, of course you can, right? That's irrelevant. Come here. If you want to do this, let's do the accelerator. I know this is going to be a moment when you look back like you did the first time you invested, and it's an epic choice. We can do our first call next week, so plan the rest out, or you wait to schedule. However, having me in your corner this way is going to be a game changer for you. I'm really excited to do it. I'm in. All right. And this is about something totally different. All right. And then I say, hey, listen, it doesn't take, I made an entire 1.2 million for my house down payment in 22 days. True story. Last July, I made over $1 million in that month. And I made, from the time that I gave the initial deposit to the time that the house actually closed, I made all the money in that time. I had the money, but I made it additionally on top of it. All right. Now we're here. And I'm just reassuring, right? And I also, she said, hey, I want to be able to do this so I can get married. Now listen, I got married in 2018. And so they're delaying getting married to be able to invest in their business. I said, listen, I did the exact same thing. Sure, 2018, we delayed into 2019 because I was investing very heavily. And I say, and it cost, and I will edit it out because it was a lot of money. And we had an 18-person wedding, and I wanted to give her a comparison of the fact that this is possible, right? And then finally, this is essentially, hey, listen, I paid $3K extra for upgrading to another one. Can I use that? Of course you can. I'm not going to stop it. I'm not going to stop that. Right. So that was that one. Let me see if I got here. This one. Hey, Lee, it's Scott over, and I just reviewed your application based on what you said. You need strategy just to be able to round someone who's got it beforehand. For where you are, here's the best thing you do. Take a look and let me know. So of course, this is on the back of a workshop, right? They submitted an intake form. That was all good. Hey, Scott, first off, thank you for being you. I really enjoyed spending last week in your workshop. I'm ready to take it to the next level. I'm excited. I love hearing that. Does paying upfront work for you, right? I always want an upfront payment. I always want an upfront payment more than I'll ever want a payment plan. You may give me one of those 5-hour panic attacks one day, blowing up my plan. It was good and already gained so much clarity. Yes, I'll pay upfront. Ah, good. I like giving you those moments. The best thing that come from. Here you go. Give a payment plan. I give the link. I like giving a payment plan. This right here is the invoice, the screenshot. Have a strategy to build the life I imagine. Indeed. Boom. Done. All right. Would you do any text for the audience offer? No, I probably wouldn't do text for the audience offer because it just wouldn't scale. If you're at the beginning, maybe, but the problem is if you give that much intimacy before you're even kind of there, you're going to have to give even more intimacy later. Would you say this is a fear of failing or fear of more success or just needing more cheerleading? I would say the fear of failure is generally the bigger motivator. Once someone has momentum, it's the fear of success. And then, I think cheerleading is someone seeing themselves is very important. Someone seeing themselves is very, very important. Okay. Very, very, very important. How are we doing on time? Okay. Let's see. Let's do one more. This is somebody that didn't close. They came from Instagram, hot lead for one-on-one. We were going to do a 2-day in person, come do some supercars. So I did some qualification beforehand. They definitely had the money beforehand. We picked 2 days in May. Here's what I'm giving you, right? Drink some good drinks, take the easel. I'll rent a car for you. We'll go hang out, right? Thanks for all the details. Are the testimonials people I can speak with, right? I've been scammed before. Now keep in mind, this person didn't have if this person had about 3 more months being around my sphere of influence, they probably would have said yes. They were in the slow lane and their emotions brought them to the fast lane, but emotions won't always close somebody. Okay. So we had some pretty, sidewalk slow lane questions here. Okay. And we had a lot of scarcity based questions. All right. So as soon as this happened, I was like, I give it a 50-50. I give it a 50-50. And so I go through, I explain the questions, all that. And he's like, hey, listen, I'm going to have to do it by Bitcoin because of this personal reason. I edited it out. And I say, what does the timing work? All right. So we're here, but I know that this is high on emotion. And another thing, at this point, I get the feeling that maybe it wasn't work. And this is where I would, this is one of my favorite places up in Napa that I love going to. They have these villas up in Napa. I was just here last week for my birthday with Libby. And I was like, hey, listen, let's go here. Let's have some fun. Let's talk. Let's go into this stuff. Right. Hey, Scott, after sleeping on it, I don't think it's a fit. Right. So I'm like, all right, well, you know what? 150K. And at this point I say, hey, listen, if we want to scale it down. And he's like, no, not right now. Cool. Awesome. I sent him a voice message for 90 seconds. And I said, hey, listen, love the fact that you're making the decision. If you ever need help with the business, he's got amazing business. If you ever need help in the future, just let me know. That was it. It's all good. Not the end of the world. We're not going to cry over that. All right. What's your thoughts on outbound messaging? Make sure you watch yesterday and day 2. I think outbound messaging makes a lot of sense. It's just got to be done the right way. What do you do when a past client from 10 years ago calls you to have an in-person meeting and discuss what they're looking for? Generally, I would reset the boundaries of who you are now and what you're doing now. That's generally what I would do. So I think that's what I got for you today. That's my time for that. I could keep on going. Keep in mind, when we do the skip the pitch, and if you're in Modern Business Academy Plus, if you're in VIP, you're going to get access to me doing a lot more of these and reviewing yours. And actually telling you, hey, this is what you should have done. This is what you did. And Gianna's going to, of course, be a massive help there. And we're going to be doing calls for the next 90 days, starting in a couple of weeks. Now, was that helpful? I'd love to. Was that helpful? Did you like that? Did that kind of show you how to manage some of these things? A random question: any insight how to follow schedule and maintain consistency? Have you ever struggled with that? Not really. I just kind of wake up every morning and just kind of be like, well, what do I want to do today? And just not have guilt around if I don't want to work, if I want to work. Do you have a program that describes how to invite someone to an application form at the end of an audience offer? Yeah. It's actually in Modern Business Academy under the skip the pitch. There's a full training in there. And there's going to be a new training that all people in Modern Business Academy, that intensive workshop offer, you'll be getting access to the content of that later on this fall. You won't be able to do it live, but you'll be able to get access to it this fall. And it also costs a lot more money this fall. Super helpful, very fast, but very helpful. The level of intimacy is hard because I always play open. I always play with the open intimacy. Yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, you can do that. I mean, it's not wrong to do that. If that's what you're known for, you can do that. But it just you have to decrease intimacy as you do scale at some level, or you won't be able to scale, right? It stops you from scaling because you can only scale that so much. Okay, so I want to actually, I'm gonna stop sharing this, and I'm gonna come over here, and I'm gonna share this screen. Can everyone see this document I've got here? Fine. Yeah. Okay. Cool. And I'm going to let you have access to it too, just real quickly. And so I just wanted to go through this, and then we'll go into any more Q&A. Kind of close this session out today, but I just wanted to go through, Modern Business Academy Plus, which I really, really believe that if you're here and you want help, this is the best way to be able to get help. Kevin said, to sign up for MBA Plus, what do you think about waiting to do the assessment until after the 90-day skip the pitch? Kevin, if you want to do that, totally fine to do that. It's up to you, whatever you're feeling. If you want to wait, we have people that wait. That's totally okay. There's no, whether it's now or in the future, doesn't change for me. More along the lines, if you feel like you know what you're doing the next 90 days. And super excited that you're in, Kevin. All right, so I just want to go through, you can take a look at this, but I wanted to make sure that you knew what's inside. All right. So first off, I talked about this personalized assessment, personalized strategy. This is super, super, super benefit. Like the level of benefit that this is literally having a map, like having an actual map. Let me see if I can actually bring up, one that I might, have. I got, all kinds of stuff in here. Am I going to be able to find one real quick? I don't know if I'm going to be able to find one real quick. I got lots of photos in here. All right, never mind. Forgot to get it before I came on, so that's fine. But essentially, it's going to be a 7 to 10 page document telling you exactly what we know you need to do. And I talked about this yesterday. At the end, this is you being able to know what to do over the next 6 months, right? What content to consume, what to do in the business, what group sessions to come to in MBA, what to do, what not to do, right? That, in my opinion, is worth 10 grand. Like the ability to know what you should, or actually the more money you make, the more valuable it becomes, right? Because the more you're able to make the right decisions, the faster you're able to make more money, get more momentum, be in alignment, all these things, right? Second thing, you get all of the programs in Modern Business Academy, all of these plus every other my workshop in August, my workshops that are coming out the rest of this year, my intensive, you get the content from all of that. So you get all of my current content and almost all the experts that I have to come and teach inside of Modern Business Academy. They all are doing their own courses, own workshops that you get full access to for free as well. Okay. Then on top of that, you're getting about 60 by this fall at 60. By August, it'll be 30. So you get Q&A sessions with me, breath work, group hypnotherapy, organic growth, paid advertising, partner advertising, operation, team, finance, mindset, anything that's in the business. We've got somebody that I've personally mentored or I'm an investor in that's coming and being able to actually help you with that. And as part of Modern Business Academy Plus, you get to be able to submit your actual questions and have them answered first. So you don't have to show up to the whole Q&A. All right. So on top of that, you also get 2 Q&A sessions with everybody in Modern Business Academy. And of course, as things scale and things grow, there'll be, more and more people that are in there. And you also get access to a separate set of calls just for Modern Business Academy Plus people. And so I'll actually unmute you. It'll be more hot seat format. Also getting access to my MBA event. That's going to happen in 2022. You get access to all the people that I work with. Right. So if you want to hire the right Facebook ads person, you want to hire the right accountant, instead of you having to go and hiring somebody and firing them, you can take care of my people. I'm going to send you a signed copy of the Nuclear Effect book. Right. You're going to get access to be able to, if you have a business audience, you want to sell my workshops, my programs, whatever it might be, a preferred percentage of that. You're going to get 4 one-on-one sessions of hypnotherapy. Generally, it's $600. And really, this is everything that from strategy to mindset to everything in between. I've really built what I believe is the best possible version of being able to help online entrepreneurs, right? By far the best possible. The calls for Plus are kind of divvied. One is in the morning Pacific, one is in the afternoon Pacific, just because we have different time zones. We have a lot of people in Europe, a lot of people in Australia, people all over the world. So all of our calls are conscious of different time zones, right? So that's Modern Business Academy Plus. Happy to go into any questions, but you got the document. The document's up there. All you have to do is go down here, be like, yeah, I want to do this. And Gianna, if you want to do the intake form. Oh yeah, no, it's $6,000 for life right now. It's not 90 days. It's $6,000 for life at the moment. In the future, it's $6,000 for 6 months or $10,000 for lifetime. You get this for literally life right now. It's ridiculous. There's nothing out there that has that much value that's also going to give. And this isn't like life for a year. I really believe Modern Business Academy is going to be, I have a 5-year plus vision for this. So all you have to do is go do the intake form. Gianna's going to talk to you after she gets back from dinner today. And that's it, guys. That's really it. Of course, I'm going to be in your email box and all that type of stuff for Modern Business Academy Plus. It's $6,000. If you want more intimacy, we have the VIP program, which you can talk to Gianna about. And of course, next week I'll be talking about via email, our $1,000 option, which of course at the end of the day, it doesn't really have the personalized attention and assessment. It's really just all of the content and all of the group sessions. But I'll be talking about that next week. If you want to talk to a Gianna about that, she's happy to talk to you about that as well. Yeah, exactly. So it's, you get 2 Q&A sessions in group format for the life of Modern Business Academy. All right. And the accelerator option, yes, I didn't talk about the accelerator option, but the accelerator option, it's 8 months, $40,000. If you're interested in that, if you're interested in the accelerator, just give me a text. Here, I'll put my number there. It's $40,000. It's 8 months long. It's $40,000 up front. If you need to put it in 2 payments over 30 days, it's fine. 20K. There's no like prolonged monthly payment plan for that one. And that's really, of course, if I have you in that program, my intention is that we end up being business partners, or some way of being integrated in the next year. So most of the people that are in that program, that's the intention. I don't bring anybody and everybody in there. That's my intention of anybody that comes in there. All right. So, and then after you complete that form, Gianna's just going to reach out to you, be like, hey, listen, this is a good fit. That's a good fit. Hey, here's what I think, it's a place, the area for growth. So Gianna's just going to text you. If on our form, if you're outside of America, outside of Canada, North America, or you have a phone that you can't really text, you can put in your WhatsApp or Telegram link, and then Gianna can message you there as well. All right. All right. Woo! 5 days. That was fun. We're doing again, not this one. We're doing a 5-day marketing workshop. It's going to be $100. We're going to do that one August 2nd, right before my wedding anniversary. We're going to go to Hawaii for 10 days on a private island in Hawaii. Pretty excited about that. And but just before that, I'm going to do my next workshop, 5-day marketing workshop again. And so I'm excited about that. But let's go into Q&A. How was this, guys? Please, I'm going to send out a form next week for you to do a testimonial. If you could do that, this is a huge part. Skip the Pitch. My book's going to be coming. The Skip the Pitch book's going to come out this fall. This is the upsell for it, right? This is the upsell for it. And so, if you are, and of course, we'll let you know about the book and give you a special discount on the book when that comes out. But I would love to get a video testimonial. We'll incentivize and do a little prize or something to make sure that you actually get it done. But how did you enjoy this experience? And then, from there, if you have any other questions about anything that we talked about over the last 5 days, I'm happy to, close out for the next 25 minutes. Any questions that you guys have, and I guarantee you that it did fly by. You know what? I love workshop weeks. They're some of my favorite. So much creativity, and just a really, really, really good daily vibe. And also I'm happy today because I was able to sit down today. Thank you, Joe. Thank you everybody for being here. It's been a lot of fun. Been a lot of fun, but also been fun having this high definition experience so that we can chop it all up and have amazing social media content for everybody else. Any questions, or are you guys all good? I got those rosy red cheeks today. I don't know if I've ever looked at the side of my head and face in this much definition in my whole life. I was saying earlier, I need to get the camera set up for when I shave to make sure I get it all. It's better than a mirror. You had me at the 150K text. Yeah. Well, you know what's funny is like that's definitely not the only one by any stretch of imagination. But I don't want to make it so that that's people think that that's the only you can only do the high ticket, super high ticket on that. It doesn't appear like I have suggestion on tips for getting apps. I mean, really at the end of the day, no tips on that one. It's just like adding it. The thing that actually gets the most amount of applications isn't directing people to an application. It's really good content. Because that makes someone be like, wow, this person's really good at what they do. That and testimonials and case studies and that type of thing. Right? Is it better to do an audience offer as a live workshop or more as recorded? Lives have a great energy. Yeah, always live. I just love live. The energy is just different, right? When it's not live, I don't know. I have a hard time doing things not live. Give away free content. Text. Don't give consulting advice. Drive towards sale. Correct. Absolutely. What is the other option than MBA that you will talk about in the email next week? So it's just the MBA lifetime. So it's MBA, but not MBA plus, right? So we got MBA, MBA plus, I don't know, but the sales page is almost done. Let's take a look at it. Since we're here, I don't even know what it looks like yet. But I know it's in development. That's what I do know. I don't think it's live just yet. I don't think you can buy it just yet. But MBA is really just, less intimacy, less having your specific strategy, less on the mindset work, less intimacy in group calls and one-on-one, that type of thing. This was life and business changing for me. I allow myself to be omnipresent from this moment onward. So yeah, exactly. I do offer MBA with it, the plus, and we're going to be putting this, as you can see, we're going to be putting this live next week. So, on our sales page, it's really the 4 pillars, or the 3 pillars rather. And yesterday I did the whole kind of quote unquote pitch. That's what's going to go here. And then we're just going to have the two versions, Modern Business Academy, Modern Business Academy Plus, right? So a version of $1,000. And then 6 months for $6,000 was $5,000. We bumped that up because it made a lot more sense. These prices obviously don't make any sense at the current moment. That's really what it's going to look like. Anybody at the end of the day, you already have momentum and you're building, and you really want to get that next evolution. Modern Business Academy Plus is a no-brainer. If you just want the content for the rest of your life from me, group calls for the rest of your life, and that type of thing, Modern Business Academy itself is going to be really good at $1,000. In the future, it's going to be $2,000 for a lifetime. So this is all of what I'm building at the current moment, for myself and my own business, outside of all the businesses I'm an advisor and investor on. But anyways, this is what it's going to look like. And if you want like an example of what a personalized assessment looks like, right? And this is just a duplicate, right? So kind of think about it this way. It's like this, and this is just an example one, right? And so we actually go through, here's the recommended resources. Here's what you should do. 3, do this. 4, do this. 5, do this. 6, do this. All right, here, look, mindset. Here's where your mindset, we know this is where your mindset needs help. Go and take care of this, right? Here are the group calls, right? Here are the group calls to actually go on. So you don't have to go on 30 calls a week. You don't have time for that. So this is really, every single person, this is very customized and personalized for every single one. Every single one's reviewed by me. And this is exactly like that. So the regular, the $1,000 Modern Business Academy doesn't have a personalized plan, does not have an assessment, nothing like that. That is Modern Business Academy Plus. Okay, that is Modern Business Academy Plus. So that's at the end of the day, having my eyes on your business to make sure that you have the right strategy. That is one of the largest pieces that you're paying for, and in my opinion, has some of the highest return on investment for you in your future. Okay. All right, everybody. I think that's all I got for you. That's it. Oh, the spa up in Napa, Bar de Sant, this one. It's absolutely gorgeous. It is. It's a little bit more pricier in the summer. I think the villa I was in was about, I don't know, $3,000 a night. But if you get it in the winter months, I think you can get like a room there for, I don't know, $600 to $900. And it's really, I mean, it's beautiful. It's really good. We've gone to probably 10 of the resorts up there. So far, this is the nicest. If you're looking for a resort versus a, Airbnb or whatever, it's by far the nicest place up there that I've been able to find. The other place I liked burnt down, so that was unfortunate. That was sad. But Calistoga Ranch is also really amazing up there. All right. Listen, love you guys. That is it for today. I will see you on email. I hope to see you in Modern Business Academy, regardless of which version it is. Appreciate you all so very much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being live. If you're on the replay, thank you for watching this. And I'm so excited for the ripple effect to see inside of your business over the coming months, the years. Hopefully, it doesn't matter when it is, 6 months from now, 10 years from now, when I get the message, hey, Scott, this helped me do X, Y, Z. That's what makes me so incredibly happy. All right, everybody. Love you so much. Talk to you soon. Bye.